Then, not here, but the Palestinians had built a huge casino, mostly for tourists and Jews. And I don't know where it was. I never caught it. Sorry about that. But that's something to think about, a casino in Jerusalem. At one glass shop, we stopped, and they had 6 glasses, water glasses, very fancy, and it was $40 USA. Fine, that was fine. But to ship it home, you couldn't carry that stuff. To ship it home, it would cost $40, and maybe that was the minimum. You could run $95 for the 4 glasses. Wow! Way, that was big time shopping. Okay, now let's see, what did we do? We saw the Bedouin camps and the herders, and oh my gosh, they have the goats grazing, and they're intense. And there's a whole bunch of tents together, one right after the other. They seem to like to live together and right on top of each other. Maybe you get more, not as much wind blowing if you're closer together. And they had the goats grazing, and you see people going with the goats. And I don't know how they live in this wilderness. This is absolutely amazing. We're down to Saturday, February 19th. And I had the best lunch ever. I had a baked potato for lunch. I haven't seen a baked potato here. Well, we do see rice, but, we don't see, and we see fried potatoes, French fries, but you don't see baked potatoes. Oh, it was so good. And, of course, the baklava. And then, so much red cabbage. They have salad bars, and almost all of it is cabbage. Red cabbage, white cabbage, green cabbage, cabbage with oils, cabbage with sauces. Oh my God. Of course, Velma can't eat cabbage, period, so that's not too good for her. And the cats are everywhere. You cannot go any place that you don't see a cat. Very few dogs. Very, very few dogs. And the ones that you do see are with their masters on leashes. Hear that? That's an ambulance going by. Oh, there. So, we saw the city of Jerusalem. We were way up on top of a mountain. We saw the city of Jerusalem, and we could see Bethlehem, and it was a fantastic panoramic view. We were on the Mount of Olives, and the cemetery is there, of course. Huge! Oh, you never saw such a big... it's unbelievable. Well, it's for 7 centuries. Well, we went through the cemetery. It's Jews, and they build their graves. They put them like we have these cement blocks that you use for foundations, and there are about 3 of those blocks high and 2 wide, and then they've got a flat top, and it's all engraved, what the names in that. And people come along, and instead of putting flowers there, they leave a rock there. So you'll see some of the graves, oh gosh, almost loaded with rocks. Others have only got a few. Perhaps he didn't have any friends. I say rocks, they're stones, And the burial of the Jew is the day of death, if at all possible. Sometimes it happens on the Sabbath, and it has to be held over. But the day of the death. So lots of burials are done, and people say, well, I didn't even know he died, but that's what happens. I think this thing is coming just almost to an end. Not quite, but coming. Well, we went to the old city in Jerusalem. There's the old city and the new city. And we went to the old city, and Temple Mount, this rock is where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, but he didn't, because at the last second Jesus said, no, don't do that. And then we went and we saw where Jesus and his disciples had the Last Supper. It was a very plain building, very small, and it had the bottom part there, and then the upper part, was the upper room where they had the Last Supper. And King David is buried under this building. King David wanted to be buried under the building where the Last Supper was. So that's what he did. So I don't know if I should keep talking or not.
Well, I can keep talking, and when it ends, we'll just turn it over and see what happens. Now, we went to the Western Whaling Wall, and that was so interesting. Well, everything we see is interesting, and I'm just saying we went and we saw this and that, but we listened to the guide and Alan, and he tells us and talks to us and tells us about this and that, and he tells it in more or less plain language so that we can understand what is